Mhm. All right, we are now streaming live on YouTube. This is a bond hearing for Harold Walker, and this is warrant number 2025 CW 56199. I'm Judge Case Johnson, charged with theft by shoplifting. Um, Attorney Rogers, representing the state is 88 Thomas, representing the defendant is Attorney Rogers. Your witness, Attorney Rogers, go ahead and make your case.
All right, thank you, Judge. Judge, guess I'll start with just laying it flat. Mr. Walker's record is not great. It's a bad record, but it's not the worst. It's not the worst crimes in the world that we're talking about, but the record is, it's lengthy. No way around that part. So, we'll own that. Um, However, what I would point out about having a lot of convictions also means that you don't get them convictions without coming to court, which that's the purpose of bond, is to make sure that a person comes to court. It's not to punish them or to deny them their freedom while they handle the case. Purpose is to ensure that they attend court. Um, so, like I said, the fact of those convictions, while it's not something that we're proud of, it does speak to the fact that Mr. Walker does not remove himself from the jurisdiction of the court. Um, a couple other things, he hadn't left Georgia yet. He's 56 years old. He's still here in Georgia. There's no reason to say he's a flight risk. He has an older aunt that he helps out to take care of when he can, when being not incarcerated. So I don't know if there's any basis to say that he's a flight risk. Um, Additionally, I would point out that from the standpoint of him being able to make really any kind of a bond at this point, I would say that's largely unrealistic, which I want to be very clear. I'm going to be asking for an unsecured judicial release, partly because of that almost impossibility at this point. He doesn't have funds right now because he was previously, before he was brought to Clayton County, the police made contact with him, I believe it was in August, about this case, the shoplifting case that he's charged with. Ultimately, they took him to the cab because there was already a case open over there. And then once he handled the case in DeKalb, came back over here. But while he was in DeKalb, he got accepted into the Georgia Works program, which is that letter that I provided. And I think there's a couple of things I'll say about that I think are significant. Also, I would point out that Mr. Walker is in white because he is an inmate worker. I would say that combined with his enrollment in Georgia Works shows that he is willing to work. Now that he's enrolled in Georgia Works, he needs an opportunity to participate. So that's really what asking for this bond is about more than anything, is that Mr. Walker has finally kind of gotten himself connected with a program that might help him to move in a different direction, a better direction in his life. And he wants to be able to take advantage of that opportunity. So like I said, that's really what the request for the unsecured judicial release is about, is that getting him out so that he can participate in the program as soon as possible. It's a popular program. And so, time is kind of the essence as far as him being able to get out and start participating. We'd be fine with that being a condition that, he provide proof that he's made contact with the program upon his release, because that's his full intention. Um, Additionally, Mr. Walker actually would kind of like to speak to his record. He understands, how that looks, so he would like to speak about that part of it as it relates to the bond situation. And kind of wants to explain to you, where he was, where he's come to, and where he plans to go going forward. So at this time, if I could, I guess give Mr. Walker a chance to testify in his own behalf regarding his bond situation.
Go ahead, Mr. Walker. Oh, you got to be unmuted.
Over at the jail, can y'all unmute Mr. Walker, please?
All right.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Walker, can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you will give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You can put your hand down. Can you state your name for the record?
Harold Alfonso Walker.
Okay. Mr. Walker, how old are you?
58.
Okay. And how long have you lived in the metro area, Mr. Walker?
All my life. 58 years.
Okay. And do you have, I know we talked, and I believe you mentioned your aunt living here, the one that you help out with. Do you have any other family still around here?
Oh, actually I have two aunts. My cousin, I have an uncle, and I have one sister that stays here too.
Okay. Mr. Walker, you own a house or anything?
Sir?
Do you own a house or any sort of property like that, real
No, sir.
estate?
No, sir.
And I know we were talking about, you previously being in DeKalb and having to get over here. How much, as far as funds that you have available to you right now, how much are we talking about?
I spent like $573 to get over here. I got like $90-something in the savings.
You said the reception is a little bit bad. Just want to make sure you said $90, 90.
Yeah, in my savings account.
And Mr. Walker, you kind of want to speak to your record because I guess if I understood you properly, you understand that it looks bad. But can you kind of explain to us, as far as recently, at least, what's been going on with you?
First of all, I would like to say, I take full responsibility for being here, that for this buying here, and also, I've been an addiction problem with drugs for maybe like 25 years, in and out of jail. Also, that I recently just graduated from drug court, and
Recently, what did he say?
recently I'm a graduate of drug court program in the
Drug court. Okay, all right.
And I'm in the alumni. I'm still reporting going there. I'm still with Chief Judge Jackson, with Judge Hydrick. They're part of my inner circle. I sponsor like 3 people. Still have. When I got locked up in DeKalb County, they reached out to me and they sent Director Dwayne Allen to see me. He thought it would be a good idea for me to jump back into my recovery. Once when he came to see me, he accepted me into the program. DeKalb County made that.
Mr. Walker, not to cut you off, when you said the program, which program do you mean?
Georgia West program, sir. It's an in-house program. 12 months, I would stay there. I would be supervised. I would be drug tested. I would be able to go back to my job, which I'm on leave now. I was a sous chef at breakfast at Barnes. I would be able to go back to them and working with them and everything. But it also going to provide me with structure. Getting back out there, I just want to be out there. Going directly there, I go back directly there. And ultimately, that when DeKalb County did for me, a part of my bond, brought me the bond and everything. They made it part of my release that I go into the program. And once I bonded, I found out about Clayton County. I found about a charge over here and everything. But what truly put me like in a dark position. My sister passed away on October 15th. She had breast cancer, and I relapsed. I went back out there, and I was, and that's my record. I'm not here to defend my record. I know it's bad. I know my record bad, but I'm also saying that I have a problem. I have an addiction problem, and I'm willing to work on it. I have worked on it. I stayed clean for like 4 years at drug court. Once I finished there, and I maintained employment, I became a kitchen manager. And I know it works. I just want to get back into it, the recovery. That's why Georgia Works is a good program. I go right back to it, and I can deal with some of the issues that causing me to relapse. That's part of my addiction to relapse. If I ain't working on that, I'm continuing to do it. So I got to face my problem and continue to work on it. And that's why when I came over here, I was hoping that Clayton County would go along with the Senate that DeKalb County did. They would follow suit with DeKalb County because my inner circle think it's a good idea for me to get back in directly to a program to recovery. And I also think so too, because I'll be in a structured environment, like I say, a curfew, and stay there for a whole year. And so I just want to be out, and that's my biggest reason coming back and forth to jail. That's my biggest issue. My drug. If you look on it, my record, it speaks for itself. I don't feel like I'm a bad person or anything. I just feel like I have a problem. And I just need to continue to work on it. I'm 58 years old, and so, eventually I'm gonna have to get this thing right. Go back out there. I got one son, 18 years old. I got another sister, she stays here. So I got people who love me, who I love. So I gotta get back on track. I'm just asking Clayton County if they're willing to go along with the DeKalb County.
Oh, I don't have any further questions of Mr. Walker at the moment, Judge.
All right, any comments?
Yeah, I don't have any questions of him.
All righty. I guess like closing arguments?
I haven't made my argument, John. I just don't have any questions of the defendant.
Oh, okay. All righty. But go ahead and make your position.
Yeah, my concern is,
Excuse
and
me, Thomas, not to cut you off, over at the jail, can y'all put it back on mute, please? Because it's kind of the noise. They muted the ADA.
okay, thank you. Your Honor, it's interesting. Mr. Walker mentions that he's 58 years old. In his 58 years, he's had at least 75 arrests. This is spanning from 1987, which is pretty much probably around the time he got out of high school, to date. Of those 75 cycles, most of them are theft related. So I just focused in when I was doing his review on just the shopliftings. And I didn't even start with 1987. I started at 1996. From 1996 to, I think I stopped writing in 2015. This gentleman has been arrested 16 times for theft by shoplifting. I'm not counting anything, just shoplifting. 16 times. This one to make number 17, not counting the ones where I just stopped typing because I said this is ridiculous. It's been a minute since I've seen anybody whose risk to reoffend was this bad. It appears that he possibly is getting back on track. I don't know. But it's interesting to note that this particular arrest occurred in, I believe it was October. So I'm not sure what happened. Not October of last year. It had happened in October of this year.
I would object. That's actually the warrants from August.
About to say, yeah, I looked at the one from August.
I'm sorry.
Like he was picked up. Looked like he was picked up in
from DeKalb.
Yeah.
Oh, from DeKalb. Okay.
So we're talking about recent behavior here, Yana. I cannot in good conscience go along with anything less than, I believe my last offer to Attorney Rogers was for $15,000 good bond on this one. I mean, if he was at 10, if his history was half as bad, I wouldn't feel safe. I wouldn't feel comfortable going along with Mr. Rogers' offer. But in this particular case, when I'm looking at a history this bad, it's the same stuff over and over and over and over and over. The only thing that's probably going to stop Mr. Walker at this point is age, which is why I found it interesting that he mentioned the fact that he's 58. He's right. He is. So state would ask that the court consider his history, specifically his predilection for doing this same thing over and over and over and over. His career has been theft by shoplifting. And that the court can keep that in its consideration of whether or not to grant this gentleman bond.
Final words, Attorney Rogers.
Thank you, Judge. just like I said, we didn't try to hide the ball on that. We accept that, the record is what it is. With that being said, we all grow and make progress in life at different rates and different speeds. We don't, there's some people who they got it together just naturally at birth, and they, a model student, go out and do everything and follow all the rules right away. And then a lot of that is because people have relevant structure and things like that. Some of us, it takes a little longer. We off the path. Personally, I'm still a work in progress, so I could never look at anybody else and say you should have it all sorted out at this point. What I will say though is that, Mr. Walker, he wanted to speak on his behalf. He laid it out flat for you. He's let you know he's trying. He's making an effort. I don't know that keeping him in jail, which effectively at this point, like I said, with $90 in savings, almost any bond is going to effectively be keeping him in jail. The people that he mentioned in his family, at least a couple of them I know of, are older. He doesn't have property. He doesn't have he's got $90 in savings. So that's why I say pretty much any bond is almost going to be the same as no bond at this point. With that being said, he's lined up to go into Georgia Works. Apparently, the jail saw at least enough in him for him to be an inmate worker. Hadn't pulled him off of that status. So for those reasons, Judge, the fact that he's aging out of crime, he's got a pathway to support moving in a different direction. I would ask that the court would release him on unsecured judicial release. Thank you.
Right. And so this is a tough case. Mr. Walker is, it appears, for lack of a better word, a career has made committing crimes and racking up convictions as a career path. And so, this is not something that happened 2, 3, 4 years ago. This is something that happened in August of this year. He said himself that he has children. He's 58 years old. When is he going to stop? So the best that I can do for him, and this is having some faith in him and trying to be that person that gives him another chance to get it right. I'm going to presume that he makes these outcries whenever he's in court. But until he addresses the drug problem, this is going to continue. And so I don't know Attorney Rogers, is this an inpatient program?
Yes, ma'am. I understand it. Based on the letter, and I was actually looking at
Okay,
the
he had said transitional housing. I would only release him to be transported directly there.
Okay.
And he is to remain in the program and follow any treatment recommendations, but he is not, I would not change the bond amount. What is his bond amount
Apparently, I
right
think
now? Well, he doesn't have one.
I don't think he.
All right, I'll set the bond at 5,000. And or he can make the bond or be transported directly to the program. Okay, I think he wants to say something. Attorney Rogers, do you want him to say something? Is that okay?
Well, I actually had a question too, Judge. Because I just want to make sure I'm clear on how that would operate. When you said he can make the bond or be transported, do you mean? I guess I'm asking, are you saying it would be an OR if he's being transported directly to the facility, to the Georgia Works program?
Right.
Okay.
If he's able to be transported directly to the program by one of our deputies, I will not require him to post bond.
Oh, okay. Judge, if I could have a moment to talk to Mr. Walker, I'm not sure what his question is.
Okay. All right, you guys can both join room 1.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Over at the jail. Y'all join us in breakout room 1. Excuse me, Judge.
All right, my bad. Go ahead.
So Mr. Walker, he's definitely agreeable to the
Wait a minute.
transport.
Say that one more time.
I said, Mr. Walker, he is definitely agreeable to the transport option. Couple of, I guess, more practical aspects of it. Number one, I guess, would you just provide the jail the transport order? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, we
And
will have to compose a transport order. It would need to be set up with them, the exact time, date, everything. So what generally happens is you would have to reach out to them. They'll give you specific instructions. You'll provide that information to me, and I'll compose the transport order. And it needs to be at least, I would say 4 days to a week.
okay, I'll see if I can get in touch with them today. And I don't know what their schedule is over there, but I'll try
Hopefully
to
they
get.
have some housing. Hopefully they'll have something they can go ahead and because I think that's what he needs, and I'm willing to do that if that'll help him get back on track.
Okay, Judge. Then like I said, I'll work on that as soon as I get the specifics about you said you would like for it to be basically not before a week, essentially, if I'm understanding what you were just saying about the time frame. You said about 4 days or something like that.
It usually takes for them to usually you would want to give them a date so they can have